should show feet. It's like in view. Okay, cool.
So introduce yourselves again.
Again.
Welcome
Okay.
to our very next episode. I don't know what number this is. We had a pilot episode and a regular episode, and all episodes are unofficial episodes of our podcast since we created the name. My name is Wang. You can call me Q, and your name is.
I'm Bopa, and we actually have a podcast name.
And what was the name? The name was.
No context needed.
And we shall be providing context throughout the way, and it is also by two cool people, just in case we need to change the name in the future.
No context needed.
All right. Before we start, your name Bopa. Did your parents call you that? Like that's how it's said.
Mm-hmm.
Is it traditional?
It's traditional. So my name is Cambodian, and it means rose. And
Oh,
I guess if you
okay.
were to say it more traditionally, like it would be pronounced as Bopa.
All right.
And yours? How do you say it?
It's Wang.
Wang.
Wang. Wang.
Wang. Wang?
Nah. Wang.
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 Okay.
Wang.
Wang.
Focus on the A and G part.
Okay.
Ang. Say ang.
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 Ang. Oh, ang. Ang.
You were saying it so much differently than how I'm saying it.
I know, it's because I'm hearing it. I'm
Ang.
hearing it how I'm hearing it, and I'm trying to say it.
It's not Wang. Wang.
And now I just keep wanting to say Wang.
Okay.
So I call him Q.
It's for white people and people that don't speak Vietnamese. But dude, like, there's like a lot of Mexican people in this area that like knows Vietnamese.
You know, at the company I work with, it started off catering more towards Asian Americans, Vietnamese specifically, because it was a small company then. But now the demographic is Mexican, Hispanic, Latinos. So I thought that was interesting you mentioned that.
Because I know, like, in America, like, if you hear an Asian person speak English, like, you don't bat an eye. But, like, if you go to Mexico and the Vietnamese person speaks, like, Spanish, you're like, it's like, pretty shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, so you said your name was Rose. My name, initially, I thought it meant, like, I hear, like, in Chinese movies, so I thought it was, like, royalty, but it isn't.
Oh.
So I guess it means, like, someone explained to me, I haven't looked it up, but a Vietnamese girl told me that it meant, like, I think literal translation, it means, like, halo. But really it means, like kind of like, you know, when we look at Buddha, it's like it's more like the aura around.
Okay.
So, like, that's another way of like that kind of halo, like
That
halo
is
/ aura.
cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
And
That's why it makes sense, because you do have mad aura.
I was never always like this. But did your sister's name mean anything?
So my sister's name, actually, I do want to say my sister's name, but I don't have permission yet.
Okay.
And because it's part of my parents' name, like it's the
Got it.
ending of both of their names put together.
We don't have to go through it, but like, we just briefly, if you want to. It's like, it's not traditional Cambodian name.
It's
right?
not a traditional Cambodian name. It's more. I feel like I want to say it's a common name, but if you hear it, you won't bat an eye and say, "Oh, that's different" or anything.
Got it.
Because you know her name. But then it's funny how they were able to put that name together from two very Cambodian names.
Yeah, and I'm the only one out of my brothers that got a Vietnamese name. Both my brothers got like American names.
Oh, yes.
Have
That's interesting.
Have I ever said their name in front of you or no?
You have.
All right.
I've met your brothers.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know their names.
You know what? I forget their names, but then when you talk about them,
all right,
I know that they're your brothers.
Okay. So today's topic, we're gonna talk about. You're in your mid-30s. I'm like mid-later 30s.
Do you want to say the number?
No, because this number shall change like depending on when you watch the episode. I mean, as the day of filming today, 36. No, 37.
I am 34, and my birthday's in June, so I'm turning 35 this year.
Yeah. Other people, notable people that are my age: Conor McGregor, Jhené Aiko, and Big Sean. Hillary Duff is a little older, like maybe 2 years older. I can't think of anyone else. Those are three names that I know are my age. Know anyone that's your age? Oh, Jeff Teague.
Who's Jeff T?
Of he's a basketball podcaster. Like he's like a how to say he's like what's the movie with Tom Hanks? He's like the Forrest Gump of the NBA. Every time you hear a crazy story in the NBA, he just so happens to like be there.
Okay, I need to look up this person because
Okay,
I'm thinking when I think of Forrest Gump, I'm thinking of you know
what?
he's
A little
on the
slow or
spectrum,
something?
yeah, but he's also very capable. Not saying people on the spectrum aren't, but that's why I think of Forrest
Oh,
Gump.
okay.
So is he slow?
No, he's not slow. He's
Is
not
slow?
slow.
Oh, and slow is not the right
I think the analogy I
term.
was using was maybe like he's always in the right place at the right time. If the
That is
like you know how
very
like in
Forrest
Forrest
Gump.
Gump, like he's part of like the Alabama college football team, or he joins like he stumbles upon like a Black Panther meeting. He's like in a I don't know shrimp boat. He just meets all these people.
I need to watch Forrest Gump again.
All right.
But I remember, I know
Hmm.
everything you're saying is funny because I do love that movie. And you're right. He's
Yeah.
always in the right place at the right time.
Oh, two other people my age is I said this a long time ago and people laughed at it, but I'm the same age as like Adele and Derrick Rose. I don't know who Derrick Rose is.
I
He's
know he's a basketball player.
correct. So he's the youngest player to ever win MVP of the
Mm.
entire league. Usually it's like someone a little bit older. But when I was 23 years old, it was like my fourth year of college. I took a year off in junior college, and then I was on my fourth year. I was 23, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready for life. But that same
Mm.
year, I'm the same age as Adele and Derrick Rose. Same year, 23 years old, Derrick Rose won the MVP as the youngest ever to win it. And that same year, Adele had the most Grammys ever in a single night. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. And
Yeah.
and then she had to pay respects to Beyonce so
Oh,
that she
was it?
doesn't get off. That's the conspiracy
Oh, okay.
theory, is that anyone who wins kind of needs to acknowledge Beyonce or they get offed. I don't believe that, but it is a conspiracy theory.
And that kind of like makes me think of like the topic we kind of pre-planned a little bit about today about
Mm-hmm.
like when do you feel what does success in life mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Derrick Rose never won a championship because he got hurt. He's like I think he's like the one player in the NBA where everyone just loves him, unanimously love. No one like no haters. He keeps quiet, works hard. Everyone just loves him. No haters. Same, I don't know about Adele. Do people love Adele?
People love Adele,
Okay.
but she did go through a bit of controversy when she what happened? I think she canceled her concert or tour or
Okay.
something after everyone had paid a whole bunch of tickets. I forget what yeah, I forget what happened,
Uh,
but
do big girls get mad at her for getting skinny? Same with like Khloe Kardashian.
Lizzo.
Like yeah,
Mm,
like the big girls are like, hey, you're one of us, but now you're one of them.
you know what? I don't think I heard anything around Adele. Oh, just comments about she got plastic surgery or she got work done. But nothing about how oh, she used to be one of the big girls. I hear that about Lizzo though.
Mm,
And I think because people will be saying, "Oh, she's all about positivity,"
yeah.
and now she's a skinny girl, which I think is kind of a ridiculous thing to nitpick at. But
Mm.
people are people.
And also Lizzo's my age as well.
Lizzo is your age.
Yeah, Liz.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
know
yeah,
that.
like, we're all the
I thought
same
she was
age.
younger.
I think she came on the scene later, but she is my age as well.
I've thought of someone now.
Oh, who's your age?
Ash Trevino.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
If I remember correctly, I think she is. Or actually maybe she's a year older, but I'm turning 35 this year, so it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Ash Trevino.
So you were 93, 92, 91?
90.
Okay. Oh. Okay, you're only 2 years younger than me. For some reason, I thought the math was off.
No, that's why I was like, we're getting to 40. You're a little bit closer.
Yeah, we're
Does that ever trip you out?
not in the modern world because I do feel capable.
You are very
Like,
capable. You're extremely capable. Sometimes I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
like what do you ever feel inadequate or incapable?
I go through I don't feel inadequate or and not capable. Like I do see myself as a capable person. I just think sometimes it's self-doubt and perfectionism and like gaslighting myself that gets to me. But I think it's more so because of the world kind of beating it into you as you're growing up, and now as an adult having to unlearn all of that and really cultivate another level of inner confidence.
So the what does the world give you a hard time about that you have to fight?
Being a woman.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, cool, we're good. Just making sure I didn't fuck up. Like, like how so? Because I do, because I don't like to see the world as like a men versus women kind of deal. It does feel
I
like
don't
that. It does
either.
feel like that sometimes. Like because I sometimes hear girls like say like, "Oh, men suck," or something like that very phrase. And I'm
Well,
like,
how do you feel when you hear it? Like, what are your personal thoughts?
it's like saying, "Hey, I'm a man." Like it's like you're not only attacking mankind as a whole, but you're also attacking me.
How would you feel if when women say that, they don't mean all men, but women don't feel like they have or should have to say, but not all men though?
But I also think that shouldn't have to be said. Like, oh, you know what I mean? That's like saying like all people of a certain race, like all black people are this, all Asian people can't drive.
Hmm.
Like, hey man, you telling me I can't drive either? You're saying like, oh, all black people love this. Like, hey, I love that too. I love sports. I love good food. I love, you know,
I love church.
yeah. It seems like you can put fried chicken like in every country in the world and people will love it. Like
It's true. And
Korea.
yeah, for me, I feel like Korean fried chicken is the best fried chicken.
Mm.
You don't agree?
It seems like they just got more flavors.
You know what? I think that's why I like it more. And I feel like the way they Oh, but you know what? The history of Korean fried chicken is that it was taught to them
What,
like
black folks
by black soldiers.
in what,
I think
Korean
during the
world?
Korean War or
Okay.
something.
You heard? I don't know if this is true or not, but it's just I hear it.
Hmm.
Do you know why they created dry rub, like dry rub chicken?
Why?
I heard they created dry rub. It was in the South, so like you can go to the strip club and touch the girls without getting your fingers greasy. And every time do you ever hear about Magic
Oh,
City, that strip club in
yeah, yeah,
Atlanta?
yeah.
Every time people talk about it, they talk about like, oh, the chicken there is good. Chicken there is good. I can't imagine it being greasy chicken. I haven't visited myself, but I gotta go. I think Christy's been to Magic
Christy
City.
has been to Magic City, but dry rub, you're still greasy from the chicken, no, because you have to fry the chicken and then there's the dry rub.
Who
Like
knows?
even if your hands aren't greasy, you still got stuff on your hands.
Correct, but it's not like buffalo
Oh yeah, yes, 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 yes.
or I don't. What other flavors are there that are greasy? All I think is buffalo,
Okay, yeah, that makes
buffalo
sense.
and ranch.
But yeah, going back to
Sorry,
what we
sorry.
we'll
We,
digress here and there. No context needed.
yeah.
But yeah, we were talking, I think you brought it up because I like that trend that's been going on social, um, where people preface with, I'm 30 and I'm not afraid to admit. Should we say one by one?
Yeah. Like I'm 30. I'm not afraid to admit. I am afraid to admit a lot of things, but I would
Yes,
say I'm
I
like,
agree.
but I'm broke as hell, like super broke. But seeing like I said, like Conor McGregor's my age and Adele
Hmm.
being my age, like not even leaving college yet, like not even graduating college yet, but they're both so successful in the world. All right, you go next.
Okay. I was going to say one about money too, but I was going to say I'm 34 and I'm not afraid, maybe a little bit ashamed, to admit that I still struggle with personal finances. And to me, it's not so much comparison with like these big figures, but more so friends. Like we have mutual friends that have their fucking personal finances together. Like
Yeah.
Christy, she's my bestie, and she took out money for college and was able to pay that debt back and get an emergency savings. And she's helped me out so many times, and it's kind of, I'm just wondering, it's like, oh, when am I going to get good with money? Like, I feel I keep trying and I keep trying, but I also feel I have a mountain of debt to get through.
When you say like money management, are you talking about like how you manage it, or are you just talking about like how the money is coming in? Because that could be two different things too. Like I think let's say like if you have exactly $100, you can manage that $100 like very very well, stretch that $100.
Hmm.
I would say that management of that $100 would be impressive.
I feel that I had poor money management, and it was only in the more recent years that I started to get a lot better with it.
Okay.
And then when it comes to making money, I've never had a problem with making money for
Mm.
sure. Um, but it was the mismanagement of the money I made, and then it just compounded. And now, but the way I made money was really through was like a lot of hard work. I'm a service provider, not that kind of service provider, but it was just being a solopreneur and doing a one woman show
Yeah.
that burns you out. And so now I'm at the point where I've recovered from burnout, and now I'm in a full-time role where I've taken it more for like the plot and the character development, and it's not a salary that I feel super confident about or happy about. But I do believe that it was a really good opportunity and that it's going to lead to something. But I still have to do freelance work to supplement that money.
Okay.
But last year I was unemployed for most of it. Remember last year?
What month was this? It felt like you were working the whole time. It seemed like you always had like a project. You always had something going on.
I feel no. Okay, so maybe at the beginning of yeah, so from January to March I was with an agency, and then like I started kind of weaning off or like transitioning out, let's see, like April, June, and then I just had odd jobs here and there, and it wasn't really bringing much income, and I was really struggling. And then I ended up getting a job in like August, but it was with an old company that hired me and then let me go all within the same month. Or it wasn't even a month, and it was because they had overestimated like my position. And then yeah, and then I was unemployed again.
Who do you fall back on?
Fall back on to help me.
Yeah, like let's say like do you,
So Christy was a person that
okay,
like helped me. Christy and Irvin. Shout out to
the
you
trio
guys.
ones.
Yeah, the real ones. Like she helped me with a month of rent. Yeah,
So sweet of
and
her.
I know it was very sweet. It was like no questions asked because we were talking, and it's not like I even asked her anything. She's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I'm trying to figure out what I need to do, to make money." Because even though I was always good with making money and getting like freelance work, I didn't want to keep that same cycle. But then when I needed to go back to that, it was a little bit difficult to get clients. And then I was even considering working at a restaurant, and then I was also dog watching and just doing a lot of odd jobs. And I was like, okay, I need to come up with this much money for rent. I'm not sure how to do that. And she's like, don't like say less. Let me get you. Yeah, it was like no questions asked, offered first. I didn't have to ask. And I just thought like, yeah, she was a person that I fell back on. And then one of our housemates here, he let me pay rent late as well. And so it was just a lot of catch up since.
Are you caught up?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
caught
that's
up, but it's still like,
you still feel the struggle, like the
yeah,
burden is
I'm
still
caught
there.
up with paying back friends. But now it's okay, credit cards where it's like, okay, I'm making dent finally, but I could be making even more dent if I was making more money.
Yeah, I used to think the answer to getting rid of debt was making more money, but it also cut back on lifestyle and
And I've cut back too
yeah,
on like the subscriptions. You know me and my subscriptions
yeah, like
and eating out.
mhm. And like as much as you're like even with the gym pass too, like
Mm-hmm.
canceling a gym is kind of hard to do. Like instead of paying X amount of money, you can just Go for a run.
I
Like
know. I really thought I was gonna go to the gym, but now I know that if I have gym equipment in my room, that's how it'll work
you're
out.
hopeful. And yeah, there's like a pros and cons to like gym membership versus owning a gym equipment. Gym equipment, long run, it's way better for the money. Long run, like years, like you buy like two equipment, like a bench, you can last you like 20, 30 years. And
Yeah, I feel like
but
I'm gonna be using that split machine until I'm 80
or until it breaks, because it
or until I break. Um,
yeah. And like yeah, if you go to the gym, like they might have new equipment there. You might
mhm.
not at a basic gym, but like at a nicer gym, sometimes they have new equipment. They have classes. You may not spend like the couple $100 for the equipment up front, but you might pay monthly. But it keeps going and going for years and years. Um, but yeah, like do you like financially like I I kind of like watched this one other guy's podcast like show after after I kind of figured out my finances a little bit, but I was like in crazy debt. But like one of my friends told me like, hey, just aggressively pay off your debt, and
And you don't have any more debt.
uh, not much. Like compared to other people, it's like a nickel. Compared to other
Yeah.
people, like it's like a nickel. Uh,
And you don't spend that. You don't spend money at all.
nah, I don't. I
I like
don't.
you're just earning.
Not like other people. Other people get kind of crazy with it. Like I don't always have to have the nicest clothes. I don't have to have like I don't need the newest cars. Like
Mhm.
and just being broke for so long, it made me resourceful. Like like my uncle does help me fix my car a lot because he's a mechanic. And but also I can just if I can take something apart, I can put it back together. And I kind of noticed like there's like few similarities with like certain aspects of life where they kind of overlap. Like if you can take something apart and put it back together on a car, you can do that with a computer, skateboard, um, anything electronic. Really, I used to like
That's a really good
I
analogy.
used to destroy so many phones taken apart. Like I repaired so many screens for like iPhone fives,
It,
iPhone
it
sixes.
kind of makes me think how other people have different uh different ways to when things are when they need to repair something.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of repairing it, they just replace it. And I guess like that could be their model for life too, where things are just replaceable. But I
Mm-hmm.
like yours better. Like anything can be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
repaired.
And and we kind of talked about it too, like just throwing away electronics. That's like a lot of electronic waste, a lot of batteries,
Mm-hmm.
like a like a good and bad plastics, for instance. A bad plastic is like water bottle. You get filled up at the plant, you drink it, you throw it away. But like
Mm-hmm.
good plastic is like a laptop. Like you buy it, you use it for like 5, 10, 20 years, maybe just 5 to 10 years, and then maybe you recycle it afterwards. But the usage of that plastic will last longer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why single use is no good.
Yeah, and also
So
environmentally wise,
convenient.
we kind of talked about earlier, like just buying stuff on Amazon. Like I usually buy like 10 things at once, and the guy just drives my house once, as opposed to buying it 10 different times. Just hit buy, and yeah, the guy got to make 10 trips, 10 big boxes, 10 little boxes instead of one big box.
I do empathize with people that aren't aware of it because I didn't think of it until it was brought to my awareness
Oh my
before
bad.
this. No, it wasn't you. It was someone else. Um, yeah, it was like an article I read, but yeah, it's just like people don't know because they're just focused on the fact that they can get the item that they need or want
Mm-hmm.
very quickly, and they're not thinking about the boxes that it comes in, or they are,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not thinking about the driving and the gas and all that.
Yeah.
And Amazon, things like Amazon and those types of like TikTok Shop and Temu, they're not going to tell you like, oh, by the way, oh, you know what? Actually, Amazon kind of does when you order a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It does let you pick a different shipping date, so like
Okay.
save less boxes and trips.
Yeah.
He's like not about it.
Okay. So let's. I keep diverging to like random topics,
No
but
worries.
like
I'll bring it back.
we're just talking
So
about like a
we have
we
our topic list here.
were talking about like getting out of debt too.
Yeah, and sharing the things, but let's jump it to what are we still figuring out?
Figuring it out.
Yeah, what's something that you're still trying to figure out?
like I think we have to figure out what defines success is, like define success.
Don't you think success is more should be defined individually?
Correct, as opposed to a collective. I mean, like something like music is considered art,
Hmm.
but when you talk to like two music artists, they'll compare the numbers. Like, hey, I have more sales and this, more touring dates, more. So they compare something art, like music's art.
Hmm.
Uh, but also, I remember reading somewhere that like it took a long time for Oprah to be successful. This was like I was like early 2021, 22. I expected success to be immediate, but she
Mm-hmm.
was like her first big break was she was like 27, 28. Same thing with like, what Samuel L. Jackson when he was like 50, or Morgan Freeman when he was 50. I don't know the age numbers, but it took Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson a long time to become successful, and they're like the biggest names in the world.
Hmm.
Um, and like when I hear like teachers ask students, like, "Oh, what do you want when you want to grow up?" One person might want to be like an astronaut. The other kid, and I hear like another kid saying, "Hey, I just want to be the corn guy, like the elote man, elote woman,"
Hmm.
and a dream that's so much easier to succeed. Like, not to talk bad on someone's dreams or what they consider success, but the fact that the person's dream is just so much more accessible.
Yeah, I that is part of it. I do feel that we should stop asking kids those kinds of questions.
Hmm.
I think it'd be at least at a certain age, really young, it would be better to ask them, what kind of person do you want to be? And focus more on the qualities and the
Got it.
traits. But then at some age, maybe middle school or something, is when I do think it's important to start thinking about possible career paths. But I feel like it's a little bit unfair to ask young kids that, and especially kids now, just because of, like you said, some dreams are more, or resources to achieving certain dreams are more accessible. And with the way the current state of
What the world,
the world
United
is
States?
in, yeah, it's kind of, I do feel like it's tough. I feel like just like adults, we're just trying to get through day by day. And I can't
Mhm.
imagine kids in school right now with the quality of education and the quality of support that they have. And it's nothing on the teacher, it's because the teachers need support too.
Um,
But I do like what you said, that what you're still trying to figure out, which all of us could agree, is how are we need to figure out how to define success.
so throughout my life, I kept up with like mainly sports, like because the only reason I think of sports and entertainment is, other than being a nepo baby, sports and entertainment is like one of the few ways to change economic status.
Mm-hmm.
And not every, and there's like what 119, I don't know the number of schools, but Division 1 schools with football programs out there, like somewhere in college. And same thing with high school too. I think there's like 20,000 high schools in America, but only about 100 get the same recognition year in year out.
Oh,
Yeah, the same.
oh,
Yeah, so like a lot of small schools don't get
that
right.
feels
Yeah,
unfair.
so like when we talk about, maybe Irvin doesn't know much about it, but I keep up with Irvin's school.
Hmm.
Irvin has always has like athletes coming out, big people like doing things, but I don't even know. But there's a girl that went to school the same time he did.
Oh, yes.
That the girl that's did he tell you?
No, you told me, and you told us. The one with the podcast now.
No, that
Oh,
girl's just the white girl with the podcast. She's much younger. She's like 10 years younger. She's like
okay.
25, 26, 27. But no, this other girl, like I just found out more recently that she's gonna be the first Vietnamese girl or first Vietnamese person gonna go to space, part of NASA.
That's fucking
And she
cool.
went to high school with him, and I messaged Irvin about it, and Irvin's like, "Oh, she was in school for something else too, but she went to Harvard, and now she's going to space." First
That
Vietnamese person also happens to go to his school.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, and
I feel proud hearing that
yeah,
about an Asian American,
correct. And
a
it's
Southeast Asian American.
going this month. This month, she's going to space this month, and
That's fucking
that's kind of
cool.
like how it came to my radar. So
Mm.
in Corona, he is a Corona Centennial school, so that's like the number, like out of 100 schools, that's like one of the schools I usually remember.
Mm.
I know you guys may think that's a lot, like 100, like 20,000 schools, high schools, keep track with 100 schools, but you guys probably keep up with more. There's like more Pokemon than there is schools.
Oh man, it is crazy. This is just a side note, but we'll make sure not to talk too much about it. But it's crazy how Pokemon still exists.
Yeah, like
And people are playing Pokemon Go and they're still collecting cards. I have coworkers, I've like some of them are younger, but there's some that are my age that are still collecting the cards and will go out of their way during their lunch breaks to buy the cards.
mhm. Where did they go? Costco? Like it had
They
like
go to
close Costco.
Target and stuff.
That's wild.
I know. I mean, that I do they go for a lot of money? I,
Yeah, allegedly.
okay.
Allegedly, like individual cards. They always do like that thing where you ever see it? Those people that do unwrapping. They like
Mm-mm.
they just hold all 10 in front of you. I don't know. There's like a technique to it. I even seen
Oh.
a girl at a rave do it. Like you just took out a pack,
Hmm.
unwrapped like a Pokemon pack at a rave, and she went through bam, 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 and then she got like some shiny card.
Oh, okay. I guess I have to see this kind of video.
But yeah, like we're close to we're closer to 40 than we are to 20.
Yes, we're practically senior citizens.
Uh, Depending on who you ask. You ask some kid
Yes.
like you ask like a teenager like, oh man, you're 30 something, you're old. But you ask like a 70, 80-year old person like, oh, you're so young. You still have a lot of life
Mm.
to live.
I like watching those videos on YouTube where those people interview older people
Yeah.
and like, oh, I'm 89 and I interviewed an 89-year-old man and he'll tell you the one thing about marriage.
Mm,
Or a 70, I saw one with a head like a title, like a 70-year-old,
yeah.
like the mistakes not to make. And they're very really common sense advice that I feel you hear now and you learn throughout your life, but it really does take age to integrate those
Hmm.
lessons.
And we're just going through the same thing too. You know, like we're all like
Yeah.
people in their 80s. At one point in their life, they're trying to like find a career, find themselves, find love,
Hmm.
like get married, whatever. But sometimes I look at those old, like even like a photos from the 50s or 40s where like some beautiful woman, like they might be 80 years old now, but at one point in their life, they were like one of the most beautiful people in the world. Uh,
Dude, that too. I feel like I don't know if as a man, like what you think about your fleeting youth and beauty, but as women, and I feel like at this age too, I mean, I talk about it with you too, that I'm like, I don't know. I just it's I feel aging is a privilege, but it's also kind of cruel in a way. It's like you give
uh,
us this and then it wilters away.
I think we see that mainly because we live in like, well, more so us that we live in a social media world,
That's true.
a Hollywood world where everything's visual.
Mhm.
But the one thing I do agree, I remember I told myself a long time ago is that we all get old, we all get fat, and mm, what was I gonna say? I don't know. But you're right. We no, I was gonna say is that
I think you're about to drop some bars.
we
Keep going
trade
with it. Keep going with it. Don't give up.
we trade our youth and our beauty for wisdom. That's one thing.
Ah.
And I'm sure some people out there maybe they don't want to be wise; they just want to be beautiful their whole life.
Mm. What do you think about a person who is like that? That doesn't care about being wise and wants to be beautiful their whole life.
It's a losing cause because I remember I heard a story a long time ago about this supermodel. She's like, "Hey, I'm young, I'm a virgin, like I'm a supermodel. Like, would any of your businessmen want to marry me? Like for like I don't know, a couple $1,000,000? Like the highest bidder gets to marry me." And all the businessmen were like, "You know, you're a depreciate. Like I don't want to sound like a thing. You're
Oh,
like
like you're depreciating.
you're at the height of your life right now, and anyone knows that it will depreciate from this point on because you will get older. If your value is looks, then your value will only go down.
Mhm.
If your
Mhm.
value is like wisdom or your personality or your kindness of your heart, that value will only go up.
Could you date an older woman?
Yeah,
How
but
older would you go? How mature?
as long as we can connect,
Okay. Oh,
I
that's
mean, like
nice.
I don't know, 10, 15 years older. I don't know. I'm just throwing random
I
numbers
think
out.
10 is not too bad. I don't think like 10 years older.
As long as we connect.
Yeah.
But if like, do you know who Bill Belichick is? He was a coach for New England Patriots for like 20 years.
That name sounds familiar.
He's about 80 years old, but his girlfriend right now is like 24 years old. So even though he's like this, he seemed like this Star Wars like Darth Vader kind of deal. He looks like a Darth Vader, a Darth Maul kind of guy, but his girlfriend, 24, 25-year-old girlfriend, got him making TikToks.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm feeling young
yeah,
again.
yeah. Like he leads men into battle. To
Okay.
he builds the New England Patriots to like this.
So he's still their coach?
No, he retired. He
Okay.
retired, but now that he's retired, he's just dating this young girl that everyone just seems to talk about.
Interesting.
And I wonder how they connect.
I wonder how they connect too. And I
Yeah.
wonder what it is for men when they go. Well, I kind of have some assumptions and theories, but I do wonder in this case for this gentleman, why someone younger? Or is it because you have been with people of more appropriate age that you're like, okay, why not try someone younger? Might as well. If she's
Um,
down, I'm down.
I have some theories too. I think the theory is maybe she hasn't gone through. Is no knock on anyone, but maybe she hasn't gone through much life. But the fact that someone goes through more life, the older they get, they might complain more. They might like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this sucks, that sucks.
Mm,
Like if you go in with like kind of doughy eyed, like eyes like very bright, it could be I don't know, like I don't know, less complaining, more peaceful,
okay.
or maybe who knows, like a blank. Sounds fucked up when I say it, but like a blank canvas
Mm-hmm.
to paint on.
Well, you know what? They do say that about men too, where that men do tend to go for the men that do go for younger women. Some of the things that they said is that, oh, she has less life experience, or kind of alluding to not exactly what you're saying, but they're more malleable.
I don't even
More,
know. I don't know what that word means.
they're more, you
Like
can,
Play-Doh.
yeah, they're like Play-Doh.
Okay.
They can be formed to whatever is influencing them, and in this case would be the dude.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think about my fleeting youth a little bit more often these days.
Uh,
I have. Do you want to jump onto the next?
all right, we can go to the next thing.
Yeah. So, what do you think about our 30s so far?
I saw a thing that it was like something on TikTok where some girl was saying in our 20s we try to like work hard, try so
Oh,
hard to be like we're in our 20s, try so hard to act 30s, but we're
mm.
in our 30s like we try to act in our 20s.
Isn't that crazy and ironic? That is very ironic. I think that's a funny
Hmm.
thing.
And for you, I'm sure you started your 30s like during the height of COVID.
Yeah, I turned 30 in 2020. That
I,
was,
yeah.
but I when I look back at COVID, I do think I was more one of the more fortunate ones. I didn't lose anyone. Thank God. Yeah, I didn't lose anyone close to me. I know friends and yeah, friends who did. And then it was that time I went freelance, and I was making a good amount of money as well. But I know, I think what I think of my 30s so far. So I turned 30s and COVID. It has been a struggle, but not like the 20s. It's been challenging, but I feel because I know myself more and I'm more grounded and I actually like myself
Hmm.
as I am.
Did you hate yourself in your
It's not
20s?
like I hated myself, but I was with partners that, it didn't seem like it was like, now in hindsight, I'm like, I see why you were with me. But at the time, it's why are you with me if you seem like you don't like me? You're so judgmental. But then
Why were you with them? Like what did you like about them?
I think it was that mentality of, oh, I could fix them, or kind of going into that savior mode that I feel a lot of women are kind of
Yeah.
conditioned to.
I think I heard something this week where people don't. It's kind of fucked up to say, but I think some people don't change. Their core may not change, but they might add like one or two things here or remove one or two
Hmm.
things there, like maybe a habit or two. But their core doesn't really change. If
Yeah.
their core is already formed, it doesn't change. So instead of just trying to change people, like let's say I don't know, I'm with someone that hates working out and I love working out, or I love to run and I hate running. That's never going to change. They're always going to hate it.
Yeah.
So instead of just trying to change them, just find someone who has the same values. Like, oh, they do love to run. I'm just on the exercise thing because it's easy to have an
No, I
analogy.
think it's a good example to easily understand this concept because I think it's advice that I really started to understand in my 30s.
Yeah, same thing goes with like whether someone wants or doesn't want children too. I think
Mhm.
when you're young, you don't know much. You're like, yep, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have kids, and buy a house by 30. But the realism is unlike that's very unlikely for a lot of people.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and you realize how much different every path is because when you're young, I think everyone thinks they want it. I assume everybody wants the same thing because society tells them they want the same thing.
Mhm.
Uh, but I listened to a Mark Cuban thing where he says you should be happy when you're broke too
Mm.
because you have money, you're gonna be happy when you're rich. But if you're a grumpy person when you're broke, you're gonna be a grumpy person when you're rich. If you're a depressed person when you're broke, you're gonna be depressed when you're rich. I think money just enhances these things, like these things that you already felt, you're already feeling by yourself, but yet have yet to solve or developed.
What you said about paths, I think another thing in your 30s that you learn is being or accepting the fact that you can just as there's many paths to success or the things that you want to achieve, you realize that you don't have to stay on one path the whole time. And I feel like it was more in the recent years that I really started to understand that, and not only understand that but be accepting and embrace it. Like, oh, I've only done this profession for an X amount of time, and then you start thinking about another path that you can go in, or you have this identity that you've been subscribed to for your whole life, and then you're finally starting to unlearn it and wanting to change that or trying something new. So I think that's one of the things that's really cool about the 30s.
Did you have a huge mental change when you turned 30?
You know, I don't feel like it was a huge mental change. I think it was late 20s, like
Mm-hmm.
things started to kind of build up. And then 30, 31, 32 was when all that build up kind of started to, I don't know, push me into a different era, into a different way of living and behaving, but not, and when I say different, it's just, like setting more boundaries, being okay to let people go,
Yeah,
things like that that I struggled with when I was in my 20s.
I think the three ages where I felt like some change was like 18. I think I turned 18 and I was like,
Mm,
yep, can't create no more crimes. Like, so I thought that at first. When I turned 20 as well, I was like, you're not a teenager, but you can't drink. So I
mm.
felt that at 20. And for some reason, 27, 28, I felt like, all right, time to start being serious. Time to like get life together. And not necessarily at 30, but like, it was close to 30. It was like 27, 28. And I was like, all right, I need to turn my life around.
I think that's really good self-awareness that you have, that there are age that there's these age range like milestones that you pick up on, and you notice like something, like a noticeable change
Yeah.
in what it was. I think that's cool. And it kind of makes me start to think, oh, I feel like 35. I know I'm not 35 yet. I'm just a couple months away, but I do feel 35.
Okay.
I feel like now I'm starting to like, oh, okay, my body's changing, my knees hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, my knees hurt, my metabolism has slowed down, and I should probably, really pick up my finances a lot sooner than later. Those are the things
Yeah.
now I'm thinking of.
Like even well, for the longest time, athletes you consider 30-year-old model
That's true.
as like a supermodel. 30, you're considered old in that world.
Hmm.
Um, but obviously longevity with like LeBron James, he can do it till 40. Like people
What
take
makes
care.
him different
Um,
and being able to go that long?
high,
40,
high,
that's
high
cool.
for an athlete. Yeah, high IQ. Uh, yeah, a lot of athletes now like, oh, I'm same age as Steph Curry as well too.
Is he still
He's still really
bowling?
really good. It seems like he's
Okay.
more muscular than ever. He has like a couple kids. Um, yeah,
Dang, so are basketball players now just getting older?
yeah. The average age, it does seem like they last longer. Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's
like
interesting.
Kevin Durant, because they obviously Steph Curry, they're like 35 as well, 35, 36, 37. No, they're 36, 37, and they do seem to last longer than how, I don't know, considering the average lifespan of a basketball player is only 4 years. So I'm guessing they only do 1 year of college, 18 and 19, and from 19 to like 23, and then most of them like just retire. Or the longevity of basketball isn't that long.
Mm,
Mm,
I have a question
yeah.
before we hit the hour mark. But what does the bestest version of, like, if you were the most best version of yourself by the end of the year, and you look back, if you were to look back on this whole year, you're like, man, I'm fucking proud of myself. Like, I'm the coolest, smartest, most richest like version of me. Like, what does that queen look like, and what would he have done to get there? Like, what is he doing? I'm so
I
curious.
think I would have to overcome mental hurdles.
Hmm.
I think I could be doing the
But like,
same,
what specifically? What kind of mental hurdles?
like mentally get out of a slump, mentally get out of feeling sorry for myself.
Well, I
Stop.
feel like you're so good at getting other people out of slumps, so it kind of, I take for granted that you get into them too, or
Yeah,
that you do
yeah.
even get to them at all.
Sometimes I wonder, like asking a teenager, like, what do you want to do in college? Like, what's your major? That's a huge thing. And once you graduate, what do you want to do in life? Like asking, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's very big questions. I think maybe my purpose in life is to help others in a non-traditional way.
Okay.
Like I know I'm not gonna be a doctor. I'm not gonna be a cop. I don't want, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Hmm.
That's just not my thing. Um, I think like just going back to finances too. Like it doesn't matter how much money you make or how much money you don't make, but the moment you die, you die.
You die.
You can't take it with you. Maybe the only thing you hope is the impacts on the amount of lives you interacted with, whether how short or how long. I had a friend pass away like last week, and I'll tell you this story, but I don't even know if it's a good story to tell. But this story's happened. He was a he seemed like a type of guy that grew up kind of in the gang world, but became like a sheriff. But I don't know what happened with the sheriff stuff, but I think his first job he kind of stuck with for a long time was he became like a prison guard. He's a very outgoing guy, very like he definitely had he passed away at 40. He definitely had another 40 years left. But this one time, fuck. No. I was thinking, he doesn't do drugs or anything. But one time, like me and one of his homies did drugs, like did some, you know. So and then like we were told that it was bad drugs. It was like we bought it from like we went to like some Vietnamese bar,
Hmm.
but the bar restaurant like happened to sell it too. But we heard it was, but later on we heard it was laced with stuff. So, but nothing happened to me. It seemed like something happened to that guy, like his friend. So his friend later that night attacked me. The next, he just attacked me, just like went to like punch me or tackle me or something, and someone else just pulled him off. Like but the night, but it was like one night of drugs that it was random because he said it was unintentional. It was like my bad. It was lace drugs. Who knows? But the next day, the guy that passed away, he made fun of both of us. He's like, homie hitter, homie hitter. And I was like, oh man, this guy has like a way of like diffusing, making light
Mm.
of a situation that was kind of crazy the night before. And yeah, he definitely had an impact on me. I met him like when he was like 20 maybe. And so I know him for half his life.
Damn, bro.
And he has like a lot of nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, cousins, sisters. I said sisters twice. But and he's the baby of his family. His oldest might be like 47, 48. He has like 5, 6 siblings. So he definitely impacted a lot of people. And all those siblings got kids too. And all those kids are like teenagers, adults, elementary, middle school. And I hope to and imagine like how much impact he had in 40 years. Imagine if he had another 40 years up to age 80, how much more lives he can impact. I wish I could do the same thing where I can impact people's lives, whether it's family, friends, or someone I just meet for a day. Like, like I just walk by someone, tell them a joke, they laugh for like 2 seconds of their life. Like I impacted that.
My throat is getting.
You want water?
No, I drink water. It's getting. I feel like it's getting choked up because it took more of an emotional turn.
Oh
I
no
can
no
see
no,
like
no,
you
no.
really
So that's what I.
love that
So
friend
that's what I want to.
and really cared and
I'm
respected him
yeah.
as
I'm
that
close
friend.
to his brothers,
Mm.
but like yeah, we were good friends. But I was close to his brothers.
I didn't know your friend who passed. Rest in peace. But it's like I'm curious if he knew the impact that he had on people, because I feel like for you, you don't know the impact that you have on people,
Hmm.
and I know that you've impacted people. You're just not aware of it, and you'll have. I hope you live a fucking long life, dude.
Oh,
I really
thanks.
hope you live a long life. Um, yeah, and I do believe you're gonna impact many more people, and especially as you start showing up for yourself too, and showing out more.
I think of the words like when we're teenagers or in our 20s, we just like say so much stuff. We say so much
Mm.
words where we're unaware of the impact of our words. And like now that I'm older, like, oh shit, who knew who I pissed off, who I made happy, who I.
Well, for better or worse, you have impacted people, but I do think in like this most recent leg of your life, you've had more positive impact than like negative.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's a good place to end.
All right.
That's deep. Thank you for taking us
Oh
there,
shoot. Oh, no,
bro.
I mean, we can talk about
No, thank you.
anything more on your list that you want to discuss before we go.
No, I love that you took us there, and that one, is a very you're like you're a masculine male, but you got vulnerable there, and
Yeah.
yeah, you like took us there. I'm very impressed. I'm very thankful, and yeah,
Um,
that was a great share, dude.
but before we go, maybe I ask you the same thing. Like,
Hmm.
what kind of a person do you hope you would be by the end of the year? Or
I would say, I want to look back on this year saying to myself, damn, Boba, you fucking kept to your commitments. That's what I want to
like,
say.
my ass, what are those? Or is it just mainly
Yeah,
work
like,
stuff? Or
with my health, what I said that I was going to do health wise
yeah.
by the end of this year, if I could look back and be like, I did that. Finance, career wise, yeah, if I were to look back on all those things, and I didn't even have to be perfect, accomplish my goals, I
Mhm.
hit them, but more that I I just was committed to myself. Like I showed up for myself, and I really gave the gift of, you know whatever it is I want to give myself, whether
Yeah.
that be consistency, integrity. Like I just was that girl. That's what I want.
And I do think one thing to consider too is not about how big the steps you are taking or how many
Yeah.
steps forward or how many steps backward, as long as you're taking that step forward. Like it could be baby steps, it could be big steps, it can be leaps and bounds, but as long as you're moving in that direction, uh, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're putting $1 towards your debt or $1,000 for your
Mm,
debt, as long as you're putting towards it.
period.
All
You heard
right,
that from the Q man
all right.
himself. Isn't he great?
No, 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 no. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you in the next episode. Whoever is watching, we hope you really enjoyed this, and please leave us a comment on what we should talk about next.
Yeah, be nice about the comments.
That's
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
that
no,
you
yeah, yeah,
asked
yeah.
that. I like that you asked that.
Sometimes, like, I'm a little too sensitive for certain comments.
Oh.
Like I was wearing a white shirt. Someone said your shirt looks yellow, and I was like, oh hell no. I got really sensitive.
Oh, that's
Or
good.
or if it gets too messed up, I'll turn off the comments. Just leave a like.
You know what? And we're allowed to do that. I like that you said that. We're giving ourselves permission. Just like that's why I like this podcast,
All
like
right.
doing it, because last note is we don't even have to put this in there. It's like at the end. But I like that we're just doing it, and it's not perfect, and we'll get better at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right, next episode in next year.
Yeah. Today is what is it? April 2024, 2025. We'll see you in 2026. And maybe next time we'll film something, we'll have like a guest. Let us know whether we should have both of us or just one of us and a guest. That way, the individual can, um,
It should be.
all three of us. All right.
And then we could change the format later.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I think our next guest will be I think Christy, will that be okay?
Yeah,
And
my best friend wants to join, and she actually has a topic in mind. We want to expand and dive deep into the topics of pick me's. What
and
do you
the
think about that?
to be honest, with you, I didn't know about that term until very recently. And the reason I want maybe if it's me in there, I would ask like more basic stuff because I don't really know much about stuff or stuff women go through. But if it's just YouTube, maybe you can dig deeper or
No,
because you
but
know,
we need the guy's perspective too, because
yeah,
there are male versions of pick me's.
yeah, because maybe you know her way better than I do, so maybe you can ask better questions.
Yeah, but you also know her you've known her for a long time.
Long time, but I think
But never as best as the best friend, you know. I get that, but it's got to be all three of us.
all right, we'll see.
Two cool people with another cool person.
Three cool people.
All right,
All right,
guys, until next time.
bye bye,
No
guys.
context needed.